I feel you, man. I feel you, dude. Well, so you got some stuff going on. You got some goals, obviously, for your biz, man. I know you said you had some questions. Awesome, man. So tell me, give me a little idea about what you what you're looking to accomplish exactly, because I can definitely help you with that and like let you know if you're in the right place.
Okay.
Then kind of let me know like what you liked about my talk with I think you watched the video with Zach. And just kind of let me know what you like about it, and then we can see if it's a good fit for what you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been in network marketing for about 10 years.
Yep.
Had some success. Sorry, this ain't the most flattering. The most flattering view, but I'm sitting in my recliner. And
oh, you're good, dude. You're good. You're good, man. I had to get out. I had to come outside because I just got off the phone with my web developer. So we when we get on the phone, we're always it's pretty much putting out fires when you're on the phone with your developers. So
right.
So yeah, that hour phone call, I needed some fresh air.
Okay. All right. Not a problem. So yeah, I've been in for about 10 years, had some success, fell in with some guys, 10 years ago really. And they had this vision of creating a network marketing company that was, not like a typical network marketing company.
Right.
And, I followed that vision, and through that vision, I've had some success. And basically what it boils down to is we finally landed where we want to land, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
The vision has finally come true. And, but when you've been in for 10 years, I got a couple legs. I got 2-3 legs. I've done, fairly well with them, and, fortunately been able to be home a lot and, not had to work too much. And over the past, I guess 5 years. And I just got to the point to where we have one of the best systems. Most network marketing companies don't have a system. They don't have a very good system.
You buy a job pretty much, unless you create the system yourself. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's either company driven or somebody created it themselves.
Person driven. Yeah.
Or person driven of somebody that's had some really good success, but that's very hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very fortunate to be with a group of people that have a very good system. The only thing they don't have that I feel like not just me but my team needs is, because we've been in this thing for so long. I mean, listen, I've built teams from going out and meeting people, and driving it from, it takes them when you've gone through your whole list, your close contacts, your warm contacts, you got to go out and create them. Well, going out and creating them, I have to think of places to go because I've pretty much wore out, all my locations. So that being said, I mean, I can continue doing that. I know how to do it. But it's not as easy. And you hear all this stuff, I don't know if it's fluff. I don't know what it is because I have no experience with using online to create leads and to create people. I don't really know because that's never been taught or never even really talked about with the people that I'm involved with. I don't really know how viable it is, and I don't really know how, getting people involved. I mean, I'm sure that it's no different as far as the people that get involved.
It's really just as effective, probably more effective, because it's one of those things where you don't necessarily stop doing what you're doing. You use the same principles and what you've done over the last 10 years to build what you built. You just do it in a more efficient, effective way. So, just like you go places offline to meet people, you can create the same, if not even quicker, better relationships using the internet. And even if you use the internet to bring the people to you offline, you can do that too. You know what I mean? Like that's a very useful thing. So you can actually, use the internet and create. I did this when I first started getting online 3 years ago. One of the things I did was I started doing these local like little business workshops for like small business owners and stuff. And like I would just teach them stuff that I was learning in my Elite System Pro. And I would just do these little like small business workshops, and like I'd get, 5 or 10, 15 people to show up after a long time. But then what was happening, I was in front of better people, you know what I mean? And they were coming to me. So if I did it once a month, and I actually regret it because I could have charged for it because I was giving away such good stuff, but I was just doing it as a networking thing. And it was cool because, small business owners got to meet other small business owners, and, they could, mingle with each other, and I would just teach them some stuff about Facebook or Facebook advertising or YouTube, whatever they wanted to really learn. LinkedIn. It was an easy way to just bring people to me,
Right.
So, yes, but to kind of, because I kind of feel where you were going with that is you can literally have the same, if not even better, kind of attraction, I guess, is the answer there. Online, you just do what works for you, but you don't try to like change up the whole thing. You just do what works for you. And, if you like going to places, then like locally, I would tell you to not stop doing that, but I would just tell you that there's probably some ways you can make it more effective. You know what I mean? And or having the decision, the choice to say, you know what, I don't really feel like doing it. Because at the end of the day, at some point you're gonna say, you know what, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to leave. I just don't feel like doing it today. I don't want to do it. And you got to have that choice, and whether or not you can say, you know what, we've created a lead system like that I can't turn off if I wanted to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I mean, that makes sense. That makes total sense. And, I probably never will stop personally contacting people out and about. And it's not even most people, when I get talking to them, I'm like, I don't really want them in my business.
Right.
You got to go through like 20, 30 people before you really find one that you probably really want,
Yep.
So,
but at least you have that choice. That's the most powerful thing is like having the choice, because I think that if you really do believe in what you got, you should never stop talking to people about it. No matter how much money you're making, no matter how big your team is or whatever. I mean, if you truly believe it can help people, you're selfish if you do stop talking about it.
That's right.
This is my opinion.
That's right. Yeah, and that's a good opinion. I think it's fact actually, because I mean, why get into something if you don't believe in it?
Yeah, I mean, did you just get in it to like make your money and get out? I always revert back because my first company was Vima, and I always revert back to like I'll never forget. I was watching that video to join or something, and like the guy was always talking about walk away income. Like you walk away, and then 4 years later, I'm like, man, why would you ever walk away? You're kind of a jerk if you choose to,
right?
Unless you've literally created even if you've created a system that continues to help people, at some point, I do think that, if you're that much of a servant, then we need you around kind of thing.
Yeah. And it becomes more about the legacy,
Yeah. I mean, John Maxwell still works his ass off. The dude's 80 years old.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like he's working a day in his life, but.
Yeah. I tell my wife every day, I tell her, I said, there's that one person out there that's praying every day that we won't quit. He's out there. He's out there praying like, man, I hope this guy don't quit. Or, he don't know what he's praying for, but I just feel that way.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. You're exactly right. So, no, I feel you, man. So you said you feel like there was something missing in with what your system had. So what was that exactly?
Being able to help people. I mean, the system is great at helping people cold contact and warm contact. Like, man, great. but the only thing they don't have is how to do it other than your personal people and face to face, not using internet, not using the internet. They have no, and I think a lot of that has to do is most of these guys that started this were in the top 1% income earners in the whole network marketing industry.
Right.
And they started it, this dream that they had to start what we got going on is it's based off a lot about how they built it back in the day.
Yeah.
Pre-internet,
pre-Facebook days.
Well, even then, I mean, some of them were like 2000, 2001, but even then it still wasn't being utilized.
The internet just still wasn't like that. I mean, it definitely is evolved. I mean, faster than anything.
Right. And you see a lot of people, using the internet, like Plexus has done a fairly good job, even though they drive people bonkers. But they've built a pretty good network doing it. I don't know how it's doing now, but I don't really want to do it like that. I don't want to do it like that.
I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, to me, I get, when you pop a company like Plexus or It Works or something that has grown pretty substantially over the years using social media, they've done it the wrong way, and it does drive people absolutely mad. But there is a right way to do it. We were actually not going to even, we're gonna hang up the hat in network marketing for a while. But there's some companies out there that do a really good job of using social media, using the internet, understanding, putting their people in the right training so they can. Because what happens in Plexus and It Works and stuff like that is they grew so fast and they didn't have the system in place for the good training to develop all the people. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people in those companies now that the voice isn't being heard because all they're trying to do is just copy, the leader that wasn't trained well either, but had influence and authority. And no one understands that. No one understands that, hey, like, this person can say whatever they want because they have the influence to say whatever they want.
Yeah, and that's pretty typical in network marketing.
It's tough. It's a tough game to play.
Yeah, and that's what I like about what these guys have in place, because literally all you do is point people to the system. Like,
that's good.
You're not the magic. Typically you point them to the system, but the only thing that's lacking in that system is to help. Like the way I view this whole thing working is I create some leads. I sign a couple people, 10, 15, 20, 30 people, whatever. But I want to help them use their warm. I want to be able to rotate a pattern that I've gotten fairly good at, and I want to get better at. I want to help them rotate a pattern that I've learned, because really and truly, if somebody comes into network marketing that hasn't blown up their warm list, man, you can run so fast and get out of control pretty quick. But if
most people, don't know how to. Most people they can't create customers out of the warm list, and then they don't know how to create a new warm list if they needed to. And then that it's not that they couldn't, they just don't know. They don't know how. They don't even know that it's possible. So they're just kind of like, no one's actually going to think, you know what, maybe I can just go out there and create a whole new list of friends, and and no one thinks like that. So yeah, I mean, that's where My Lead System Pro can come in and kind of help you out. I mean, I think if you use it the right way,
well, let me ask you a couple of my questions real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, fire away.
So part of the selling aspect of what I want to get out there is to be able to tie people into our system, not necessarily sell what we're doing, because what we're doing, I believe, sells itself because people are already doing it, is put people into be able to sell what we're doing, of course, because all we're doing is basically we're like Amazon, have the same prices as Amazon. It's just an Amazon. So now we're sharing the profits of everything that your groceries basically that you're buying already, the same stuff you're already buying. So, that it's not a hard sell because everything's going that way, the online retail. So, but helping people move to get onto a system, I mean, it's leadership development to webinars to, the same stuff you're doing, same things, that you do. Tying people into that system, that's the thing I want to put out there, especially for network marketers, because I know there's a lot of network marketers that don't feel like they have a good system possibly, or
right.
I don't know if they don't feel that way. They probably don't know any better.
Yeah, because they don't really – most people just don't know. I mean, I run into so many network marketers that honestly, man, they stick with what they're at because they don't know any better,
Right.
Or they're afraid to, take that leap and say, man, maybe it's time to get out of here,
right.
And move on. I can tell you this, this is kind of how I explained how MLSPs worked for me over the last 3 years. It's not for everybody. Okay.
Right.
It's really not. And I'll never say it is, so when you were saying those 30 people or whatever, if you enroll 30 people on your team, dude, I mean, MLSP is really going to be probably for maybe 5 to 8 of those 30.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The other 25 people, they're just there to do the company, stuff.
Fiddle.
Yeah. They're just, they're just there. My thing is with MLSP, I can get more people to a duplicatable system. With leaders like yourself, I think that's probably the most misunderstood concept of how to utilize MLSP. It's not about being the system. It's just about getting more people to your system.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's that's the thing that I feel like some people kind of miss it. It's not about everybody using it. It's not about doing that. It's about how can I get more people to my system?
Right. Exactly.
It's not there to replace it. It's there to kind of make sure you're getting better people to a duplicatable system. So, MLSP it's designed to attract network marketers to you. So the more network marketers you attract to you, the more chance of they're going to already be open to an opportunity. They're already going to be open to wanting to build a business. They're not, asking dumb questions like, is this a pyramid scheme or not? You know what I mean? It's you automatically set your bar up in terms of the people that you're attracting. A lot of people that we attract using that system, they were in network marketing before, but they aren't currently. And there's countless people that will call because of the lead generated. And I'll be like, yeah, so what network marketing company you're in? They'll be like, I'm not in one, but I'm looking for one. And that, I mean, it's talk about putting it on a tee.
Man, that would be amazing. That would be, I want to get to where people are calling me because they're looking, really, and then I can do the rest. It's just finding people that are looking that I don't have to spend so much time trying to qualify them. That's really in a nutshell. I'm not really looking to make money off MLSP, even though I'm not opposed to it.
Right. It's not the point, though. It's not the point.
No, it's not. It's not the point for me because I feel like we still have probably the best system in the world minus the online thing.
Yeah. And honestly, man, dude, I've had a couple people that have joined MLSP with me that sounds like a similar situation to you. You've been in that company for a while, so you probably got some pull. And we've had a couple people that have actually integrated some of what MLSP provides for their network marketing company because that piece was missing.
I would love to do that. I'm not to that point yet because we just started this a year ago.
Okay.
And every time you transition to another company, you lose a lot of business.
You do.
Man, You lose a lot of stinking business. This is my 4th transition with the same people. And maybe one day I'll tell you the story of how it all came about. But I'm with the same people I've been with for 10 years of this vision. And this is the fourth time that we've transitioned. And I just want to find people that want to do that are.
You'll see less of that. I can tell you, man, because a lot of people, and I like I said, I don't know those guys, so I can't speak on them at all.
Right.
But I can tell you this: when you do embrace branding yourself, even with a transition, you'll lose less business. I promise. Because when you do that, no one looks at you like your XYZ company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They start looking at you like, oh, hey, this is Paul. Your marketing and what you do on a daily basis stays the same pretty much. Like, we just joined a new network marketing company 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Nobody would really even know it, unless we like tell them, because my marketing's been the same for 4 years,
Yeah.
It's just been streamlined.
So did the people that were in your team and the other one come over with you? Or
yeah, most of them did.
Right.
Honestly, man, it was really funny because we had like this group and we're like, okay, cool, we'll launch out of the gate. We ended up launching with like all new people, and then like all the people that we thought were going to launch with us ended up coming in after. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. But they dragged their feet, man. They lost out on some positions, but I do know. I mean, when you launch, you kind of you're going to lose business, but you shouldn't lose revenue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not too much anyway.
Yeah. So I can tell you, man. I mean, MLSP's helped with that a ton. I mean, they just to kind of give you a little bit of brief history. I mean, they've been around 8 years.
Yeah.
It was all started by network marketers that were kind of in the same situation you were. For 5 years, it was like straight up, like, just MLM, like helping people just get to their top of their MLM. Then they tried to go a little general for like 2-3 years. It was like, let's start attracting like the real estate agent, the insurance guy, to be a little more generic of like entrepreneur, self-employed.
Yeah.
They didn't hit their goals with that in terms of like, so they went back to the roots of like just straight network marketers, just helping network marketers reach their goals, attract more people to them, give network marketers the tools they need to create the business that they want online. And
Right.
I'm cool they went back to that kind of home base. Yeah, it was the roots kind of thing. I mean, I had a conversation with the CEO, and he'd call me and he goes, because he had this conversation with a lot of the top people that were affiliates, and he was like, who's your audience? And I was like, man, network marketers, home base, core, I target network marketers, man.
Right.
And I tried the same thing for like 6 months. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with the small business owner, the mom and pop that are looking to, real estate agents. And dude, I made a little money. It helped a little bit, but none of them were looking to like really grow like the person that was already in network marketing,
Right.
It's just so that's the thing that we kind of went back to home base too. We stopped doing our advertising and stuff to real estate agents and insurance guys. We stopped it because it wasn't that effective.
Right. Well, I know, talking to network marketers is a little easier to sell, when you're selling it, but I also know that typical network people that have been network marketing that haven't had much success. I mean, that's the reason why they're looking in the first place is
sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, but they don't really, I don't know.
You definitely don't want to just be attracting bouncers too. You don't want to, you don't want to just be like snagging up people that are just looking to bounce around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So there's definitely a qualification process to that. I mean, and your marketing can really qualify people.
Okay.
That really does come down to like how you market, how you present yourself online. I think that's one of the bigger factors in having people disqualify themselves. So they don't really, they may show up to your webinar, they may show up on your YouTube channel, they may, download all your stuff or whatever, but they aren't the ones that are like really, they're not going to call you because they know that they know who they are.
Right.
That person is not, if your number's out there, that person knows that they're going to waste your time, and they know that your time, you don't deal with that. So it's like psychologically in their head, they just won't call you,
Yeah, that's kind of the same stuff I've kind of learned in person, how to do.
They know.
Don't waste your time. Look, I don't want to waste your time. Don't waste my time,
Exactly, man. Exactly. So they know.
Yeah, I had a guy the other day signed up. He'd been in network marketing probably 3, 4, 5 years ago. I can't remember, and signed him up, and something went wrong with his order. I don't remember what it was, but he raised all kinds of cane. He said, "Man, y'all are trying to scam me. You're trying to this. You're trying to that." I said, "Look, brother." I said, "The only person that's out something's me, because I've been over here 3 times. I hadn't been with my family. I've been with your family." I was like, "I've been with your family because I believe in you, and I believe you can make it, and I believe you can do something with your life, because I ain't made a dime off you."
Right.
I said, but
he's looking for something. He came in looking for something.
Yeah. And I was just like, whatever. But I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, look, man, the only person that's lost something's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't even want to deal with that. Like, I mean, I know you're going to, and I know that's part of the game. So I'm not like, naive enough not to know, but I ain't scared to tell somebody, look, I believe in you. It's you that I believe in, and I'm willing to give up some time with my family to. Anyway, you know the deal. But one of the things I wanted to ask was, okay, so you mentioned like YouTube, Facebook, all these avenues. I'm sure the more avenues you have, the better. But can you do it with just one avenue? And I
would actually recommend it just with one.
Okay, good.
So what I would do. No. I mean, what you want to do is you want to get to a place where, like, let's just say, you have Facebook, right? You want to get to the place, honestly, with Facebook. It's so good that you may take 3 to 12 months just to master Facebook. Okay. And you literally just dedicate, your efforts, your time, and mastering what you can, build your business on Facebook. And then, there's, let's just say, Instagram, and there's YouTube, and there's Twitter. Let's just say it's Snapchat, whatever. Okay. What you want to get to is you want to get to the place where people are really just getting to you, maybe a live webinar, blog site, and you're just pushing people here. Okay. But once you master one, then you can add in another one, and then you can add in another one, and then you can add in another one, and you can add in another one. And that's where you'll start to see like someone that can really just explode, because they've got an audience here. They've got an audience here. They've got an audience here, same thing here, same thing here. And that's where that traffic comes from, because this is your home base. These are the 2 home bases that I would say do the most for you online, create the most leverage for you online. Because those are things that in the long run, with Google, if somebody goes to your site and can find your site by any of these avenues or Google or whatever, they go to your Work With Me page, they fill out an application or something like that without you being there. They go through the company information, and then see, I don't like necessarily having people sign up without me knowing. Okay. I don't like that. I've done it before. It was really cool, to be like, oh shit, I can have people sign up automatically. And then that plane crashed, and then you're like, I don't like it. There's no relationship there. It's almost like it's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, it is. It's not.
However, if I can get more people to go through the information, and then have those people text me or call me once they're done with the information. I'm okay with taking that 30 minutes on the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I know
Right.
I know that they're qualified. They've gone through the information. I attract
Right.
good people, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how the concept works. I mean, I'm actually still over here in Facebook world, perfecting Facebook and getting people to my site, getting people to webinars. People can get to my MLM from here. Okay.
Right.
Same thing on YouTube. They go to, I always, people back here, they go here, they can get to my MLM. So,
right.
It's just a process that you create. If you create that process and you do that by using a lot of stuff that MLSP has, you don't have to necessarily, promote it. But when you come across people that are in network marketing, you can give them what they want first, generate the lead, and then do what you want with it.
Right. So basically, I've looked at your Facebook and what you're doing. So am I going to have to? One thing I don't want to do is I don't want to use my personal Facebook page.
Okay.
And I don't want to be the face.
Okay. So what do you see yourself doing? Like, what do you see? What's your vision for it? I mean, what do you see?
I don't see, because I don't know, I've heard of people using ways to get leads, or they buy leads, or people either buy the leads, or is that even true? I mean, does that really happen?
Yeah, I know people that buy leads. I'm not a big fan of it. The only time I would ever recommend anybody actually going out and buying leads is the person that like sucks on the phone and but's trying to get really good on the phone.
Right.
And or the person that knows they need to start hearing no a lot more, but they're not getting enough no's from what they're doing now.
Right.
Does that make sense? So if you got somebody in your team that just isn't talking to enough people,
mm-hmm.
and they're just not in a position where they can even get out or whatever. Maybe they work 25 hours a day or something like that.
Right.
I would recommend, maybe you should buy some leads. They're not going to convert, but at least you get good on the phone.
So you're saying that's my only, doing that would be, so what you're saying is this: if getting on Facebook, is it possible to start another Facebook page?
If you're going to do it, for you, honestly, I'd probably start a fan page.
Yeah.
And brand yourself around that fan page. That way you're not doing it on your personal page. You can attract who you want. Here's the thing with a fan page. You're either going to leverage, and this is in anything, I'm sure you know this because, you've gotten this far. But you're either going to leverage time or money.
Right.
Okay. If you're at the point now, my opinion is when you're really doing some stuff online, and I don't know where you are in terms of effort that you're trying to put in, because I know you said, dude, I've been doing this for a while. I got some, residual income kickback. Here's the deal. You're either going to pick one of these or you're going to do both. Okay.
Right.
For where we are and our goals, we still do both because we prospect and we still advertise. We spend about $125 a week just on advertisements. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we also talk to 20 people per day. But we also, our goal is to get to $50,000 a month. So is our marketing on this side just going to get us there? Probably not. Not right now. So we got to have marketing and the prospecting. So we know that we're going to have to leverage some time and money to be able to hit our goals. So that's my thing. I would say pick one or both and say, you know what, how much time are you willing to put into a fan page?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to attract?
Does MLSP teach this?
It does.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they do. They do. So they teach you how to do this stuff on fan pages, paid advertising. There are some more advanced stuff. Like they do like a course, like for the, like really, like if you want to go and get more,
Right.
I think there's a course and it's like $200. One of the cool things is, you know, if you did go through that course, you can sell that course and make 100% on the profit. So if you know anybody that, you know, you go through the information, you can do you provide some information in terms of like attracting to your audience, in terms of content, whatever. Same thing I do when I consume marketing every day. I consume something. So I may just for in my opinion, what I would do is like I go through a course. Maybe I pay $300 for that course. I'm going to create content every day around little snippets of what I got from this course.
Right.
And then at the end of my content, I'm going to have a call to action that says, hey, if you want to get access to the full training that I just took from,
right,
here's the link if you want it. Okay.
Right.
Now, a lot of times when people go through there, they'll click the link, you get the lead. Okay. So let's just say 100 people click the link. Well, maybe let's just say 10% buy the course. Well, now I got 90 other leads that are probably in MLM looking for something. You know what I mean? And if I got 100%, I just made, and if I get 100% off this course and 10 people buy, I did just make $3,000.
I got you.
So I made $3,000, which really is just kind of icing on the cake. This is where your money is. And honestly, these are leads too, because if they bought something and they're not satisfied or they just want to be a customer of your company, they've already bought. Okay.
Right.
It's easier to get somebody to buy something, to buy from you if they've already bought from you.
Right. Right.
You know, and at the end of the day, you kind of put $3,000 in your pocket, you know, just by, I mean, you see how that works though?
Yeah, I do. I understand how that, you know, you talked a little bit about that on that video.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily about like going out and like, because I think a lot of network marketers, they treat My Lead System Pro like a network marketing company, and it's not. Yeah. But their mind is so stuck on MLM that they don't see that it's more. MLSP is about exposure.
Right.
And any good marketer knows if I get exposure, if I get more exposure, I'm going to get more closure.
Right.
And that's what it's done for us.
Okay.
Hopefully that answered your question. I know I kind of like.
Yeah, no, it did. No, it did. I guess because I don't get it. Like really and truly, I don't get the online thing. Like at all. It's a whole nother feel for me. So I don't really know what it looks like because all I know what it looks like is based on what I've seen you do on your Facebook page, and I don't necessarily want to do it that way. So I don't know if that's I want my Facebook page to be my recreational.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be all business. I don't want it to be business. So
I would say fan page is the best thing for you. And as you evolve, what I would do is get to a place where you've got a YouTube channel. Okay. Because YouTube is owned by Google.
Right.
Okay. Now, a lot of this stuff, again, you can outsource if you want. Okay. So don't think that you have to do all this yourself. If there's something that you just really don't want to do, take my advice. But if you don't want to do something, pay somebody else to do it. Okay. I wouldn't say just don't have it. But I would just say just pay somebody else to do it. You know, like when we started our blog, dude, I paid somebody to do my website, you know? Yeah. Now I know enough about my website to maintain it, but I didn't make it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now your website, that's where you drive all that traffic. And that traffic basically that's where you have it set up to where people can fill out the applications and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, so if I didn't do that, I guess I can learn all this on MLSP. I don't want. I know
it takes.
You could be the magic. I could ask you questions all day long.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
trust me, man. But we put together a system as well. Like, I mean, that if you have questions, we just point people back. I mean, I enrolled a lady a couple of days ago. She was like, "Hey, I'm going to ask you a ton of questions." I said, "Awesome. I'm going to point you to the right direction because I don't answer." You can ask them all the questions you want. But I mean, we just have it set up to where, we just got it. And I don't have to answer questions. You know what I mean? But it is dedicated to showing you how to get more people to looking at your MLM. So when people go to on my website, there's a work with me.
Right.
Okay. People fill out the application. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They fill out the application. They're then sent another page that's me, and it tells them, what to do. So it tells them what to do. Okay. It's then going to send them another page with my company videos. Okay.
Okay.
Now, once they opt into the application, they're going to get an email. Okay.
Okay.
So if this page tell them what to do, let's just say that video is 3 minutes, and then it takes them 30 minutes to watch my company videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
The email is going to go out 35 minutes later. Okay.
Okay.
And the email is going to say something like, "Hey, thanks for watching the video. Make sure if you haven't watched it yet, then here's the link to watch the video. If you did watch it and you're ready to get started and you don't have any questions or text me or call me." Okay.
Okay.
And that's how you do it.
It's pretty cool now. Okay.
So the sheer fact that now it's like, okay, well, how to get people here, right? That's the main question. How do you get people here? Well, that's why we do, the Facebook Lives. You can do these on your fan page. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do them on your personal page. You can do Facebook Lives. That's why we have a YouTube channel. We do webinars. These are probably the most effective, okay? Because if I do a webinar, like I'm doing a webinar tonight on weekly marketing and daily routines. Every webinar, we get 50 people to 100 people register for that webinar, right?
Right.
They can't get to the webinar unless they put their information in, okay? So now that's 50 to 100 people that are in network marketing that if they go to that Work With Me page, they say, "You know what, I wonder what company is in. All they fill out is a questionnaire.
Right.
It's not a company thing. All it says is like, how much money do you want to make? How much experience do you have? Are you a team player? You know what I mean? Right. It's like real simple stuff.
Yeah. Qualifying question.
Pretty much. So I don't have to qualify.
Right.
Yeah. I automatically get that app, and if I look at someone's app and it's like barely filled out, I'm like, I don't want to call that person. You know what I mean? Like, they're not that serious. The person that puts paragraphs and they say like, I need this for my family, and like we ask them straight up, how much money have you set aside for a home business? Dude, if it's $500 to join and someone says I put aside $2,000, it's like, it's like, okay, am I going to get the money objection anymore? Probably not.
No.
You just told me you had $2,000.
Yeah.
But that's our system, dude. I mean, we just, the thing about it, and this is kind of what I tell people, we went to an event, and we were at this event in Arizona. I was speaking at it, and after I spoke, we were at like the last day of the event, and there's 200 people here, and the speaker goes, how many people are in network marketing? Like 97% of the room raise their hands. And then he says, okay, how many people want to hear about somebody else's network marketing business? Whole room, they took their hands down. But then he said, but how many of you guys want to learn about 3 tips to save you time on the phone with prospects or something? Everybody's hand goes right back up. So the point is you got to give people what they want first.
Right.
Now, probably about 60 to 80% of those people that raise their hand again are open to something else because they're not making any money.
Right.
Okay. Right. They are open to something else, but you got to give them what they want first.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't just say like, "Hey, your business sucks." This is where I see people doing it, because they're like, "Hey, your business sucks," and then no one's going to respond well to that.
Right, right.
But if you give them what they want first, then if you say, "Hey, like maybe this isn't a good fit for you," like their brain's thinking on a different level.
Right, right.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like this whole, like, I put a post out yesterday that said, like, "It works, should hire me." And, yeah, and, like, that kind of went a little nuts.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's the same thing. If you tell somebody and it works, and say, you go up to them and say, "Hey, you're doing your business wrong, you shouldn't do that," they're going to get defensive, you know?
Right.
But if you say, "Hey, here's a free training on how to stay out of Facebook jail," they're going to be like, "Oh, yeah, I should probably grab that."
Yeah.
And then when they put their information in and I call them and actually have a conversation, dude, the conversations are completely different. And if I ask them, this is how I do it. I'm just sharing you, this is how I do it. So if I ask someone if they're open to a new project.
Right.
Or are you married? All I do is listen for the, well, you know, because if someone's bragging about how much they love their upline, how much they love their comp plan, how much they love, they got I mean, I literally know a dude that has the company logo tattooed on his arm. Okay.
Wow.
Do you think this guy's going to be open to my network marketing business? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
Probably not. So then I'll say, okay, cool. You're married. How do you generate leads online? Or, you know, well, what do you do with the no's in your company? What do you do when someone says no? And they'll say, I don't know. I'll say, well, do you make $100 every time someone says no? And they're like, okay, what are you talking about? So that's where I either send someone to MLSP or they get coaching from me.
I got you.
Okay. Now, even then, someone can join MLSP and a year later, that company goes out of business. A year later, their upline says something bad about their mom. And then they join me in the MLM and they're still in MLSP.
Right. You're double dipping.
And a lot of those people, they love us so much that they'll do coaching too.
Right.
And that's where the concept, and then I think you really, really like this. I think you know this concept of wallet sharing comes into play.
Right.
Because now I got one person that's buying 4 different things from me.
Right.
Instead of just saying, okay, I'm going to go out there and get 40,000 customers. Why not get 400 customers that are buying 10 times as much?
Right.
You're solving all their problems.
Yeah. That makes sense. So what happens when, let's just say you get into a car accident tomorrow, God forbid, and you can't speak, you can't move, you're going to be a vegetable for the rest of your life. What do you have in place? That's not going to happen. Gosh, I probably shouldn't.
No. You're good. I had this. My insurance guy asked me, he goes, well, what's going to happen if you die? I said, dude, I'll probably make more money if I died, because then people will start looking me up on the internet and finding my videos and my webinars. And see, that's the thing, dude. If I was in a coma for 6 months, dude, we could set up, you know, my YouTube's still there. You know what I mean?
Right.
People are searching things when they find that stuff, and then they click on a link and it takes them to the Work With Me page. People can type in hashtags from Facebook and still find old Facebook videos. On my website, they can type in stuff from the blog. People are still going to my Work With Me page. I had this revelation, like I remember typing something in about network marketing, and this blog came up from one of my friends. I know the guy, and it was from 2012. And it's still ranked first on YouTube or on Google. So I'm like, wait. 5 years later, he's probably still generating leads and sales. He could have quit. He could have quit. Who knows if he's still even doing that business? But
right.
That's the beautiful thing. I mean, literally, like, I hear stories about people that have YouTube videos out there on particular companies, and people will call them and they're like, hey, I'm ready to sign up. And they're like, dude, that company doesn't even exist anymore. And that's the beauty of making it. It's almost like creating a clone of yourself every day.
Right.
And you can have the ability.
So the coaching part of it and all that, you have, like, I'm looking at all these 4 or 5 different ways. Are only a couple of them really true residual, or how do they all set up?
So that's a good question. I'll answer that one because I like sharing it. Honestly, we have coaching that is residual. So I'm going to go here. So we have MLSP, which anytime someone has a membership, that's residual. Okay. Because we make $100. I don't even know if I did that right. $100 a month per person.
Right.
Okay. So right now we just have 100 people in MLSP at $100 per month, which is about $10,000 per month. Okay.
Right.
Now, each of these people that are here, they can get extra stuff like the Facebook course, right?
Right. Yeah.
So let's just say, and there's actually a really cool course back there that I recommend everybody get, and that Ray Higdon did it. It's a network marketing sponsoring course. It's $97. Okay. Every time somebody buys that, we get $87. Okay. We pay the little transaction fee. Every time someone buys that, we get $87. A lot of these people will upgrade to the year. Okay. So they come in MLSP, they say they like it, they want to save 3 months. They buy MLSP for the whole year for $1,500. We get $1,000 commission. Okay.
Okay.
And now they're on the yearly subscription, which pops us $1,000 every year instead of $100 every month. So this is a really cool back-end residual income, which then brings us to our MLM, okay? Because we have reps that equal residual. We have enough customers that if we know that we can get at least 90 to 120 customers, then we can get a residual, because at least we can have an order go through every day for 30 days straight. So that's the way we did our math on our customers. Instead of having 30 customers try to order, every 30 days, we want to have at least 120 customers ordering every 30 to 90 days. And that way we have customer orders every day in our MLM. Okay. That's just the way we did it. Obviously you kind of figure out the way that you did it on yours. Okay.
I like that.
We had to do coaching because it was just something that people were asking for. So it was kind of one of those things where we just had to do. When we do one-on-one, it's a one-time payment of $5,000. So obviously if somebody does that for one-on-one, they get 12 weeks. That's not residual. Okay. There's not a lot of leverage there. And when you got people asking for it, it is your time. So it is one of those things that I put an asterisk by, because if we want to turn this off, we can turn that off. Okay. But even last night we were going through some stuff because we were putting some money together for a house, and, the banks and all that stuff, they asked for stuff. And I was looking back through PayPal, and I said, holy shit, we made a lot of money these months. And Wes was like, oh, I think we had like some coaching clients. And I was like, oh yeah, that's probably why. So it's cool that you can turn this off and on. Okay. But we did do something where we did a residual. So what we did was we created a group coaching program. So people pay $47, $97, or $197 a month for group coaching. Okay. And we also made that an affiliate program that we pay 50% on. So if anybody brings any of their team or friends or whatever, we'll pay them 50%. Okay. So right now in our group, we have 65 people that pay anywhere from $47.97 or $197. And honestly, this is one of my favorite residual incomes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny, man. Like, and what we do, you know, the coaching's free.
Right.
Which I've always, which I like, because, you know, you got to perform to be coached. You can't, you know, you're just not coached. And the system they have around that's really good.
Good. Yeah.
But, you know, we don't get paid for it. And that's pretty cool too.
Well, we kind of play it off here. I mean, because like we coach people in our MLM, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I mean, we got to make sure that they're making money, but we want someone to be a certain rank, you know, to be able to get our time. Right. You know? Right. Yeah. Exactly. And a lot of these people aren't in our MLM. I mean, 99% of these people are in different companies, you know?
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So that's like,
I mean, I'm having a hard time, you know, putting it all together because I don't. The only avenue that I go for is just our MLM, you know, plus our marketing system. We get paid off that as well too.
Yeah, and it may not mean, honestly, I know a lot of people in MLM that don't like this. They don't like that leg of business, you know?
Yeah.
Because this does. Awesome. I mean, it depends. I mean, personal preference, you know? Like, you know, if you start building an audience of people that are asking you for coaching and asking you for time, but they don't want to do this, you know, and they're just not open, you know, because I do feel like it is one of those things where, like, if this is the only option, then us as human beings, we kind of force it because we know that that's the only option.
Right.
You know, because we're like, okay, well, but if you want that, you got to do this, right? Where, you know, it's put a lot of, like, it's relaxed us a lot because now all we really worry about is the audience because we don't really know. We don't really have to say, dude, you don't have to join our MLM. We don't care if you do.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. And it really allows us to be very indifferent with the people that come our way, you know?
Right. All right.
So I kind of gave you a big model, but, you know.
Yeah, well, I think it's great. I do like everything I'm seeing. I like everything about it. I do want to dive in. I want to dive into it. I know I have the option of doing the yearly thing. I don't want to do that. I want to dive into it, and I still want to because I mean I'm just being straight up because I'm so ignorant in the online thing. Like I am a little. I still am. I don't know if it's because it's been ingrained in my head or if because I'm old. I'm on that generational gap. I really am. I'm 41 years old.
No, man, get out of here, dude. Get out of here.
I'm right there on that gap of like understanding the way things are going, and then still liking the old school, you know, flashcard type.
Yeah. I you know, man, I'm not about. I mean, MLSP is one of those things where there is stuff out there that is just strictly like internet marketing, and I'm not a big fan of that. Okay. Right. My thing is I want to show people how to be the hybrid. You know, when it comes to like online and offline. Yep.
Yes.
Because that's the key. That's the key for success. Like you can't do one or the other. But I also don't think that for the intelligence level, the experience that you have, I think that you're going to get it. And as long as you do things in your vision, in the way that you want to be, in the way that you want things done, and that's important for you to understand is because it's not about you doing like our model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about branding yourself and designing your model, but using principles that are just proven. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the point. So my thing would be, you know, dude, you know, start attracting some network marketers. If they say no to your they're not open, show them the MLSP video and then follow up with them. and
Right.
really start to build your business online. I mean, Robert Hollis?
The name sounds familiar.
He's a legend network marketer.
Yeah, his name sounds real familiar.
Yeah.
Who was he with, or who?
He's in Modere now. I know he's in like Modere now, but he's one of those guys that he's kind of like TD Jakes. They're like in everything, but like don't build anything anymore.
Right.
Like he's got a membership or whatever. The dude has built. He's created the last network marketing company he was in. He created 11 millionaires, enrolled 15 people.
Wow, that's amazing. That's some leadership development right there, and some influence.
But even him, dude, he all offline guy, old school guy, right?
Yeah.
But he's adopted a lot of online principles now because, he used to do webinars, like standalone webinars, and like, he's a really good presenter. Now he does an automated webinar, every week. It's every day. I think it's every Wednesday at 12:30 and 7:30. It automatically gets people to this webinar. Yeah. So I do think that you can adopt some stuff, especially if you plug in, you take action, and you just apply what you learn to your model. I think that's the most important thing, man.
Yeah, definitely. Just like what you said, it's really just one bite at a time until you eat the elephant.
Yep. That's where it is, man.
You didn't say that, but I heard you say that.
Right. Right, and you can do what I do, man. If you see use my videos too. I mean, if you're not there yet, where you just don't understand, like, I just don't get it as the talking the lingo or whatever, because I don't do these calls for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't be that efficient. But for someone that I pick and choose who I do the Zoom calls with, I kind of have a good feel of like where they go. Honestly, for every Zoom call that I do, I think I close at like 66%. So for every Zoom call I do, I probably close 2 out of 3 Zoom calls, and I record them all. So so that means, like, if people need them, I can send them to them, and you can just use those as bait. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's qualification too.
Yeah. So even like same thing I did with you, like the call goes way better if okay, cool, just check out this call real quick.
Yeah.
You get it, and then the call is more efficient. You pretty much already know what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, but I'm gonna tell you, man. 4 years ago, I wasn't that efficient.
Yeah.
I was scrappy.
Well, so if I were to like, I don't know, MLSP, is there any coaching needed, or is it pretty much straightforward? Like here, step A. I mean,
it depends. It depends on who's coming in, man. Because, dude, there's some people that come in, and you'll notice this, dude. You'll notice 3-6 months from now, when you're enrolling people in your MLM, and there's going to be that guy, that girl, you say, no, this person needs MLSP. And then there's going to be the one you say, yeah, that person definitely needs MLSP, but they're not ready.
Okay, I got you.
Because it depends on where someone is up here, what their experience. I mean, you just never know where someone is. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a guy and you know what? Honestly, man, sometimes older people, in terms of, like, I say older, I mean like 35, 40, 50. Those I've seen that age group do better in MLSP.
Oh yeah, I guess maybe some of the experience they've had,
because it's quick to apply. It's not like they're not looking at something different. I got a guy that's on our team that he's in a different MLM. but he came into MLSP. He's crushed his MLM, and on the back end made like an extra $20,000 in MLSP in 7 months.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's great.
Do I account that all to the training that we gave him? No, probably like 40% training, 60% just because of who he is.
Right. I got you. I get it.
He's just that kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does remind me a lot about you because I think you're just that kind of guy. You know, once you dive in a little bit, once the click happens, the click happens.
Right. Yeah.
For some people, they just need like multiple clicks, and like some of their clicks just get them a little bit further. You know,
right.
Sometimes for a guy like you, one click is all you need, and you're like, yo, I got it. Like, okay, cool, just let me go. You know,
right.
That happens.
Yeah.
Few and far between. But you'll notice people that are in your MLM that you're like, yo, you need MLSP, get MLSP. You'll notice people that are in your MLM that you don't even want to like. You don't even want them to know what MLSP is. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm just being straight up with you because I don't sugarcoat a thing.
It's great. I think it's great. I think.
Right. There's people that come into our MLM and I don't even want them to know that MLSP exists because I don't want them to think like, there's some certain people like that.
But how do you do that when you're all over
people
Facebook?
Ask, man. Would they ask? I just say, nah, stick to what you're doing, you know, and because you can be on Facebook, you can be on YouTube, you can be on Twitter without MLSP, of course, right? You know that.
Yeah. But
it's the tools. Like some people, here's the thing, because MLSP is a tool. Okay, so here's a good reference. There are certain monkeys that can use a rock for good.
Right, exactly.
Right? There's certain monkeys that will take a rock and they'll beat their freaking head and they'll kill themselves.
Right. Yeah.
It's still a rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You take one monkey, they're breaking open that rock and they're finding food. They're building houses. They're like, you know, they're creating their own infrastructure, and they use a tool sitting out here with a rock that our daughter used. And, but then there's the other monkey that'll just start beating their head. And then, 6 hours later, they're a corpse.
Maybe we should ban all rocks. Maybe we should ban rocks.
Thought about it, man, because I know there's some people out there every day, man, they just take the stuff and it's just not for them, dude. I had a lady come to me, and she came into our group coaching, and she said, "Hey, I want to join MLSP." I told her no. You just know, man. You'll start to get it, you know.
Yeah.
You know who it's perfect for, who it's not perfect for.
Right. I can see that.
Yep.
Okay, listen, I'm about 15 minutes late to another appointment. What do I need to do? What's my next step?
I'll send you the link to the first trial. It's a 30-day trial. Okay. So you try it out for 30 days. If you don't like it, get your money back. But I would say just plug in, and we can always, I can point you to the right direction and everything. But I'll shoot you the link for the 30-day trial, and you can start there.
Okay, that's great, man.
Cool, man.
Ryan, I appreciate your time. And
yeah, man, my pleasure, buddy.
I'm looking forward to trying to figure some of this out.
Oh, man, you'll get it, man. It's easy, man. It really is. It's easy.
All right, I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, man. My pleasure, man. Have a good one, man. Enjoy your day.
All right, see you, buddy. All right, bye-bye.